We got time to do a little bit of trial before we head out. Hopefully we're able to finish this trial section. Hopefully. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Not so fast, Judge. I was taking meaningful pause before speaking. A prediction! Today's trial will end 3 minutes from now. No, Maya got released. Edgeworth posted bail. Maya's not in jail anymore. Bah, must you question everything? Be over in 3 minutes. We have no time to waste. I'll call my witness now. Karma he's the god of prosecution. Pretentious is like the least you can do to describe him. My decisive witness to the stand. Decisive witness. Witness, state your profession. I am the proprietor of the restaurant The Wet Noodle at Gourd Lake. And I also rent boats. You were in the boat rental shop, correct? Yup. Yup, I was. Testify. Objection! Wait a minute. This hasn't stated his name yet. Objection! So I did not ask him, Mr. Wright. Bah! This trial will end in 3 minutes. Stop asking questions and let me do my thing, please! I have tea to go to! I have tea and biscuits in 3 minutes. I need this trial to end. Well, I'm not really sure. Yup. My memory, Your Honor, does not remember anything beyond the last several years. We cannot recall his own name. The incident question took place 3 days ago. He can testify. Now, I have been going through the rabbit hole of lawyer reacts to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney videos. And every single one of those lawyers gets really, really annoyed at this. At, like, the obvious bringing in someone who does not have the mental capacity to make a witness testimony on the witness stand. Diminished capacity is, like, a reason why you would not hear testimony. It was night of the 24th, just after midnight. Yup. I was in the restaurant where I rent boats as usual. Then I heard a bang. Yup. Sounds like Goofy from Goofy. When I looked out the window, I saw a boat just floating on the lake. Then I heard another bang. Just about then, the boat comes back to the shore and a man walks by my window. Yes. Yes, Christ, just everything about all these cases is kind of yucky and how they're handled. And that's kind of intentional, because the Japanese legal system is particularly, vindictive. 99% of, it's a very well-known stat that 99% of all cases in the Japanese legal system that go to trial end in the prosecution's victory. If you're a defense attorney, you're probably getting a plea deal. And you're probably not actually defending the case because you can't win. Or it's very rare that you'll win. Like, the prosecution has a lot of advantages in the Japanese legal system, which is why games like this tend to give the prosecutors an edge, because that's realistic here in Japan. That's what people in Japan often cite. I don't know how true that statement is. I'd actually have to look that up, because I'm not familiar with the Japanese legal system at all, but, like, it's very famously pretty shady. It's not perfect. Might not even be good. Which, as an American, American justice is also not particularly good, so I don't know. Objection. You can't object to the cross-examination happening. Besides, there are only 10 seconds left before the 3 minutes are up. Judge, your verdict's now. Why would I not cross-examine? Devon Karma? Just passed. I don't know why you said that. Sorry about your tea and biscuits, buddy. We have a murder trial to do. '24th through midnight. Yup. Elaborate. Objection. I asked him, he remembered. Isn't that right? Don't glare at me like that. I remembered it clearly, I did. Yup. Bang. Let's ask the elaborate on this bang. From the lake, I figure. Are you certain? Yup. Good. Continue. I saw a boat just floating on the lake. It's pretty far out there, I couldn't see clearly. I figured there was 2 men out there, yep. But you couldn't see them clearly. At the time, that is. I heard another bang. Oh, you would have to ask the development team how accurate this is to real-life Japanese courts, because I don't know. Genuinely, I have no idea. I do imagine some element of this is satire, but how much of it is a very good question that I don't have an answer to. That's something that I would have to actually look up and research. And I'm just a fucking streamer. What do I know about anything? But that is a good question. I'm sure, like, there has to be, like, some resource that, like, has done an article on this at some point. There has to be. This game is very old. You heard 2 gunshots total. Yup. Then the boat comes back to shore and my man walks by my window. Elaborate. Could you see the man's face? They're in front of me, it's a solid. I have a bad feeling about this. He was saying, I can't believe he's dead. Uh-oh. He said, I can't believe he's dead as he was walking by, too. He did not. That. Importantly, that is not the phrase "I killed him." That is, "I can't believe he's dead." Those are not the same phrase. That Edgeworth boy. The other means across examinations we can set up for the fall. Glaring at us.
Objection!
Your Honor, we proved in yesterday's trial that it could not have been Edgeworth who fired that gun.
Objection!
There were fingerprints from Edgeworth's right hand found on the gun. Yes. That is easily explainable. He could have wiped his print after he fired. You are ignoring the truth of the matter here. This witness's testimony is true. So here's the thing. That is plausible, but the fact that he didn't shoot with his left hand is also plausible means that this should not be a case. I'm gonna raise an objection. I can't believe he's dead. His word is all we have. If he were telling a lie, Mr. Wright, in a court of law, the evidence tells all. Apparently you have yet to realize even this basic fact. You say his testimony is a lie, show us proof. That's not how burden of proof works. That's not how that works. To be honest, I don't know what to do anymore. Three minutes was perhaps too high an expectation. However, 15 minutes isn't bad. This must be a new record. It's the defendant. This case is extremely clear. I see no room for misinterpretation of the facts. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. No! That's not fair. That's not fair. Hold it! Larry? You gotta listen to me. I was there in the park the night of the murder. I wasn't sure about it until yesterday, but there, I remembered it. The gunshot. I heard it too. Order! What is the meaning of this? The verdict has been decided. I call for an adjournment. You say you heard a gunshot. Yeah, I did. A gunshot that night. I was sitting here in the audience listening to the testimony. And I realized something that he said was different from what I remember. Anyhow, I can't just sit here and let you pledge you a murderer. It's just not right. Well, I mean, he's already here, so why not? My court? Judge, you've already given your decision! Trial is over! It's even worse. Doesn't get any worse. Good point! Like, we really can't do worse than what we already are at now, so why not? A waste of time. The verdict cannot be overturned! Allow me to speak on my opinion. In all court proceedings, it is our duty to prevent an inaccurate verdict. In order to make sure no mistake has been made, every witness should be heard. What is this? I withdraw my previous verdict of guilty. This would not happen, by the way. This is just insanity. What's happening now is insanity. I want you to call this witness to testify now. Court will adjourn for a 5-minute recess. After that, we will hear this new witness. Court is adjourned. This is absolute madness. This would never fly in a real courtroom. Phew. That was too close. Sorry to keep you on the edge of your seat like that, Edgeworth. I've seen worse. You're sweating bullets. Larry plans to stay in there. Larry was at the lake. Yep, we do know he was at the lake. Getting Gordy out. He did hear a bang. We do know this. This is not new information. Hey, Edgeworth. You say something right? Yeah, a lot of things. You seem out of it. What's wrong? It's nothing. What's that? Oh. You did a dummin'. When he fell into the lake, I went into a daze. I couldn't understand what had happened. I couldn't think straight. So the pixel lying on the floor in the boat in front of me, I picked it up without thinking. I didn't have a reason, really. Well, the reason that we have that key art there. So you did a dummin'. This might be our chance. Our chance? Von Karma has only ever run perfect trials. Perfectly prepared witnesses, perfectly complete evidence. That's the secret to his success. This is the first time he's ever had to deal with something unexpected. He has to let someone he hasn't talked to testify before a court. And that someone is Larry. It's likely testimony will be full of holes, right? That's true. It'll be easy to point out contradiction to this testimony. In theory. Court is now back in session. Witness. Testify to the court of everything you saw. Do it! Do it, you fuckwit! You're our last chance. Von Karma didn't have time to prep his witness. I hope Edgeworth is right about this being our big break. That night, I was out in a boat on the lake. I was looking for something and I found it. So I quietly slipped the boat back in at the rental shop dock. And just as I was thinking about going home, I heard this bang. I looked out over the lake, but I didn't see a boat. After I heard that single gunshot, I went home. For this court, in any case, Mr. Wright, you begin your cross-examination. I have no idea what he's going to say if I press him, and I'm a little scared. You might as well press him for all he's worth. Press him, press him, press him, press. So many things wrong, I don't know where to begin. First of all, what time was it? After 11 when I went out on the boat. By that time, everyone had gone home for the night, so I waited until the coast was clear, so to speak. Why are we out on the boat such a late hour? Looking for something? What are you looking for? This was searching for is irrelevant. Most likely he was hunting for this Gordy. This is all irrelevant. Let's get it over with. Well, let's see. I figured I was out searching for about an hour. This was around 12, yeah. Don't give me that sad face. I'm not the Storm Star human sundial, okay? Where'd the sound come from? Yeah, well, I wasn't too sure about that. I looked around, you know? Yeah, I looked. But I didn't see a boat. Order. Well, Mr. Butts? Wait, just calm down, okay? I mean, it was a real foggy night. I'm not sure whether there was a boat out there or not. The most important part of this case. There were 2 gunshots, fucker! That's what I said. A lot of Heart testified just said that she heard 2 bangs. Also said there were 2 bangs. Were you even listening? Were you paying attention to all of what they said? You know something's been bothering me. Customer here. Yeah, treat me like the stuff, okay? No. Are you sure? I'm not What do you mean you're not sure? Fuck you! Something else? My radio, dude, with my headphones. Stop that booing. Your headphones? So what? That a crime? Mr. Von Karma, your opinion? Waste of time. The witness noise, shady testimony. Yeah, keep going. Bah! Nothing is more pitiful than a lawyer who doesn't know when he's lost. I'm going to be sure to include details of, like, your radio. What an ingrate. We'll probably wrap up this testimony session and then call it a quits. I have off tomorrow, so I can afford to be a little late. If there were any other way out of this, believe me. What Larry heard. It's lonely being alone on Christmas Eve. That's why I was listening to the all request show on the radio, see? Listening to it real booming loud like. I'm not sure I heard that gunshot. I remember exactly what the DJ was saying when I heard it too. Jesus Christ. Can you believe a word this witness says? There was probably nothing more than the drum beat from the radio.
Objection!
The witness said he remembers exactly what the DJ said when he heard the gunshots. Announcer, the guy who says things on the radio. The judge cannot be that old. Surely he knows what a fucking DJ is. Even in 2004 when this game was released, people knew what a DJ was. He could have heard the gunshot from the lake. I'd like to cross-examine the witness, Your Honor. Alright, let's find something useful. Or not. I already know it. This is the most famous line in the game.
Hold it!
Mr. Wright, please cease these pointless questions. Knowing what the radio DJ said to us. We should care. Why? Well, how do you know if we don't ask, huh? Fine. Very well. What was the radio announcer saying when you heard the gunshot? Hey, it's almost Christmas! I heard the Are you ready for it, kids? Are you ready for it, kids?
Objection!
Are you ready? You look scary, dude. It's coming. It's coming. It's almost Christmas when he heard the gunshot. Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas! He did it! He said the thing! Yes! We did it! He heard the gunshot. It was still Christmas Eve! Because the gunshot was at 12:15! Yes! We did it! We did it! Woo! We fucking did it, yo! Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas! That sure is the butts, Xenochrist. Ruined a perfectly good Christmas murder by pointing out it wasn't a Christmas murder, it was a Christmas Eve murder. He heard a gunshot before Christmas. The current witness is plainly mistaken. Just look at him, suspicious. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you think about Buster's claim he heard the gunshot before midnight? I have no reason to doubt this at all. Intriguing. I'm assuming you have evidence for this wild claim? There was a gunshot before midnight. Mr. Lotta Hart, we have the photo to prove that Larry is not completely wrong. Your Honor? The issue here is not the why nothing is showing in the picture. It's why this photograph was taken at all. This photograph was taken by an automatic camera. That camera was set to go off in response to loud noises like gunshots. In other words, it's consistent with Larry's state testimony. And where does that leave us? Mr. Hart testified that she heard the gunshot after midnight. And that she was mistaken? Nope. It means there were 2 gunshots! Why would this be? Too loud noises. There is no proof that the loud noise 11:15 was a gunshot. Why witness could have sneezed, triggering the camera? We don't have the tank. Can we prove... How do we prove... Because the weapon was fired 3 times. Your Honor, both the witnesses who testified yesterday heard 2 gunshots. However, the murder weapon was fired 3 times. What then was the last shot fired? We now realize the truth. And the 3rd shot was the shot Larry heard just before midnight. That would make sense of the evidence we've seen so far. However, this leaves me wondering exactly what did happen the night of the murder. This is true, there were 2 sets of gunshots separated 25 minutes. Another 15 minutes after midnight. Why, I ask you, why? This is the prosecution's job. This is not the defense attorney's job. This is the prosecution's job, is to answer that very fucking question. Wait a sec. Gunshot separated by 25 minutes? I have it! I have it! Remember the case with the Steel Samurai? The murderer in this case had the same idea as the murderer in that case. Maya! If we don't figure this out now, we'll never overturn Edgeworth's guilty verdict. I got a hunch and I'm going to run with it. It's never safe. You just watch and let me know if there's anything that sounds fishy. Good Christ. Good holy Christ, Phoenix. What do you mean, Mr. Wright? Tisk, tisk, tisk. So you finally realize the truth. There can be no other murderer here than Mr. Edgeworth himself. Wrong, Von Karma. A man was shot that night, but it wasn't Edgeworth who did the shooting. Listen, rookie. Take a deep breath and consider the facts. At the time of the murder, 1 boat was on that lake. This was shown by the witness's photograph. Defendant Edgeworth and the victim Robert Hammond were on that boat. There was a gunshot fired on that boat and Robert Hammond fell into the lake. Nick is short for Phoenix. Phoenix Nick. Phoenix. That's why she calls him Nick. It's short for Phoenix. Good question, though. It's a bit of a logical leap, but it works. Expensive shooting, there was 1 murder. With 1 meter, it couldn't have been suicide. Well, the guilty party has to be the other man on the boat. Yes, but there is assumes that the victim was shot at 15 minutes after midnight. What do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? We have the photographic evidence at the time of the shooting. The timestamp on the photo says 0015. For that. Lemon was killed then, 25 minutes before the shot in the lake. Mr. Wright, are you quite mad? Who the 2 men on the boat are? course, it was Edgeworth and the murderer. The murderer killed Robert Hammond at 11:50. He assumed the guise of Mr. Hammond and met Edgeworth. Are you serious? You tell us why he went to the lake that night. However, I have a hunch. That night, Robert Hammond called Edgeworth to the lake. Now, Edgeworth didn't know Robert Hammond's face that well. That's why he didn't suspect anything when the murderer took Robert Hammond's place. Ludicrous! The murderer's name, right? It's... I don't know. Bah! Again, you waste my time. He never told us. The murderer is the taker of the boat shop, that old man. At 11:50, he was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Caretaker of the boat shop? Where did he do this? There weren't any boats in the lake then. Probably had to go all the way out the lake to shoot someone. The real scene of the crime was not on the boat. Where did the murder take place?
Take that!
The boat shop where he lives. The way he can meet with a victim without anyone seeing.
Objection!
But the scene of the crime. Recall Larry's testimony if you will. The night he was out on the lake in a boat searching for something. He finds it and returns the boat. Then, just as he's starting to head for the home, he hears a gunshot. You heard a gunshot, Your Honor? Even though he was wearing headphones at the time. In other words, the gunshot was very, very close by. And where would that be if he had just returned a boat? The boat shop. Mr. Wright, what happened that night on Gourd Lake? Please tell the court from the beginning. Yes, Your Honor. Not really, but I think if I start at the very beginning, and I take it slow, I might be able to figure this out. That night, the caretaker of the boat shop called Robert Hammond to his shop. This was around 11:50. That was when the gunshot Larry heard was fired. After that, the caretaker put on Robert Hammond's coat. He became Robert Hammond. And he got in the boat with Edgeworth and went out into the middle of the lake. Of course, it was the murderer who shot the pistol. He shot twice, both missed Edgeworth on purpose. You know this, Mr. Wright. The moment you run out of explanations is the moment you lose. Tell us why the murderer had to fire twice. To create a witness, obviously. I'm sure that anyone who's heard the shot would look at the lake. Indeed, Mr. Hart did exactly that after hearing the first gunshot. Next, the murderer waits a bit and fires again. Then, the murderer jumps from the boat himself, leaving the pistol in the boat behind him. I see. To someone looking from the edge of the lake, it would appear that one of the men on the boat had shot the other. The murder noted by the automatic camera. That's why he shot twice, draw attention to the boat. Once you realize that, everything else falls into place. The boat shop caretaker swam back to his shop, and he put Mr. Hammond's wet coat back on the body, and threw the body into the lake. That's what happened, Your Honor. That's the story. These are the events that transpired that night on Gourd Lake. There can be no other explanation. Bailiff! Bring out the witness from before. The boat shop caretaker, quickly. And I think that's a good stopping point. We will pause here and continue our trial next week and hopefully finish up this chapter. But for now, this was fun. This has been a fun case. For now, I will see y'all next week. Remember to take care, stay safe, stay happy, and don't do anything reckless. Bye, everybody!